It is September 24th. It is a beautiful day. We have just received, or I just received word that my axle assemblies are on the way. So that was the last of the parts that I was waiting on. I was actually pretty worried about getting those. Mazda wanted $1,100 for one side and $1,000 for the other side, which is, of course, more than the car's worth. But I found them for a pretty good price. They're on the way. The clutch is already here. I haven't shown you that yet. Clutch and pressure plate. So we're going to get this thing, this motor and transmission with the old clutch and using the old axles in the garage. We'll get it back in the car. We'll hang it off of this. This end's going to go off of a rope in and around here so it doesn't slip. And this end's going to go probably through here and around the motor. Basically trying to make sure that nothing slips back and forth, because this is going to be tilted at a pretty good angle. We're going to have it tilted to about yay. So it's on the engine hoist, snuck in here, leveled out as the tail shaft comes into this corner, straighten it out, and we'll see if we can get some mounting bolts to fit back where I got them from. So I took a fair bit of video when I was taking this apart, because I was not at all confident that I'd remember which bolts were where. So we've got a pair of bolts at the back and on the transmission, directly on the transmission, which I put the bolts, no, I didn't put the bolts back in, so we're going to have to find those. I have 3 bolts at the front through this mount that I have to find, and then there's a big one that goes through here, which again I have to find. So half a dozen bolts or so. We'll get those located, relabeled. I'll get them set out beside the car so I know where they are. We'll get it hung from the engine leveler on the engine hoist. Drop it in here. See if we can get the bolts connected, and that'll probably be it for today. If things really go that well, I'll put the axles back in, lift the front of the car up, put the actually I don't have to take the wheels off real quick. Put the axles back in to the transmission, where I've got rags stuffed right now, and get the steering all tied back in, and for sure that will be all I get done today. Tomorrow, hopefully, if all of that stuff is already done, we'll get the power steering and the air conditioning just mounted inside here. This, which I'm not actually sure what it is, let's see if we can get it mounted. And the accelerator, which I don't have anything to put on the end of yet. I will try and get at least bolted down, and we'll get the hood back on. If I can get the hood back on by the end of the 26th, I would be very, very happy. At that point, after we get the speedometer and stuff connected back up, if the controller isn't working, which it isn't right now, I'm still having accelerator trouble. If it's not working by then, I'll just hook 12 volts up to it and make sure the wheels spin, make sure the transmission linkage works, speedometer still works, that kind of stuff. And we will go onward from there. So here we have the motor lifted rather unexpertly. The rope I'm using is going around softeners, rags, just to make sure that the metal doesn't pull the strands, and then I missed this one. Bolts, front mounting bolts. The one bolt is here, threaded in. The other bolt is solidly mounted. It's just a nut that gets taken off. Bring it around this way. We've got a bolt for the shock absorber type thing. The pin for the shifter is already in the linkage back there. Then we have the 2 bolts that go through. There's a bracket here and a bracket here that slide in. Bolt goes through and goes into a captive nut. We've got the bolt on here. It's actually underneath the rag. So I'll be taking those off and just kind of arranging them, and then we are going to shift this so that this is hanging up as high as possible. This is down, and I might actually have to rearrange the ropes so that it lets it down a little further. And then we're going to try and slide it into the car. Okay, here the transmission still in the air. I took the bolts off. I got them laying on the side here, and I'm looking for the I think I found the drain for the transmission. It's right on the bottom here. It's quite a large bolt. I can see no hole or filler or place to check it. Unless it's supposed to be here where the speedometer is, I guess I will have to check on the internet where in the heck this unit could possibly have the oil changed out of. And this is tilted as much as I can. I'm going to see whether that fits it in where it's supposed to go. It may not. If I have to pull it back out and sling it so that it's tilted a little further, then I will. So this edge here, once I get this, once I get her leveled out, this edge is going to drop down far enough. The stub of the axle over there will be able to swing this way. I may in fact have to change the tilt of the motor from this position to this position in order to get the stub underneath. And then at that point I can slide it into this. Get this part here to go into this bracket here. So it's got to drop maybe 3 or 4 inches. The whole unit does, but right now I'm trying to get the back end of the motor to swing over.